Nigerian president calls for end of protests over worst cost of living crisis in a generation. Nigeria's leader has gone on a charm offensive, claiming the economy is recovering. Please don't shut out its oxygen. On Sunday, President Bola Tinubu called for an end to mass protests over economic hardships, stating that the rallies have turned violent and accusing a few with a political agenda of driving them. Despite his appeal, protests continued for a fourth day in some areas, including the economic hub of Lagos. The demonstrations, which began on Thursday, have been marred by reports of looting, vandalism, and allegations of excessive force by security forces. Amnesty International reported that 9 protesters had died in clashes with police, while another 4 were killed by a bomb. Nigerian police denied Amnesty's report. In his first public statement of the protest, President Bola Tinubu said, "I have heard you loud and clear. I understand that the pain and frustration that drive these protests, and I want to assure you that our government is committed to listening and addressing the concerns of our citizens." However, he warned that security forces would resist those with a clear political agenda to tear this nation apart. Tinubu's remarks were criticized by some as failing to address the root causes of the protest. The Lagos-based SBM intelligence research firm called it a missed opportunity, noting that the president shied away from the underlying issues and providing no roadmap or clear targets for tackling them. The protests reflected widespread frustration with Nigeria's worst cost of living crisis in a generation and accusations of mismanagement and corruption in Africa's most populous country. The high earnings of public officials are in stark contrast with high levels of poverty and hunger. Tinubu's aides have claimed the protests are politically motivated. His elections last year, which he won with 37% of the vote, was the most contested in Nigeria's history and recorded the lowest turnout since the country returned to democracy in 1999. Protesters have also drawn inspiration from young people in Kenya who held rallies last month against a planned tax hike. The Nigerian leader stated that his government will not stand idly by and allow the recent looting to continue. He urged protesters and organizers to suspend further demonstrations and engage in dialogue. The military has also threatened to intervene to stop the violence. Tinubu defended his government's reforms intended to save money and attract foreign investment, but which have exacerbated hardships due to poor implementation. These reforms, including the suspension of long-standing gas subsidies and currency devaluation, have caused price increases for almost everything. Tinubu warned that the protests could threaten Nigeria's democracy, as seen in other regional coups driven by popular discontent with elected governments. Forward ever, backwards never, he concluded. Meanwhile, M23 rebels take DR Congo-Uganda border town. Goma, in DR Congo, rebels from the M23 movement captured a border town in eastern DR Congo without a fight on Sunday, local sources said, the same day a ceasefire between DR Congo and neighboring Rwanda was meant to come into force. Ishasha, on the border with Uganda, was the latest town to fall to the majority ethnic Tutsi movement backed by Rwanda. M23 has seized large swathes of territory in the Democratic Republic of Congo's North Kivu province, since it launched an offensive at the end of 2021. Ishasha has passed without reinstating under M23 control, civil society leader Romy Sawasawa told AFP. Congolese police officers had crossed into Uganda to flee the numerous and well-equipped rebels. Gad Rugaju, Uganda's deputy of security in the district, confirmed that about 90 Congolese police officers had crossed into their country. He said the officers would undergo evaluation and they will probably be expelled after consultations. The M23 called a meeting where they told townspeople to go about their businesses as usual and called on pro-government militias to join them and for the police to return, resident Yassini Mambo said. They also told ethnic Hutu Rwandan rebels of the Democratic Forces for the Liberation of Rwanda, FDLR, to go back home to Rwanda, Mambo added. Ishasha lies on the southern shores of Lake Edward, around 200 kilometers, 124 miles northeast of Goma, North Kivu's provincial capital. Its capture comes a day after the fall of the nearby large town of Nyamilima, which locals say the M23 also took without resistance. Questioned by AFP, a Congolese security source confirmed the capture of Ishasha. It's a non-event. Nobody was there during the offensive, the source said, adding that the ceasefire stories are a farce. For 30 years, the DR Congo mineral-rich East has suffered from the ravages of fighting between local and foreign armed groups dating back to the regional wars of the 1990s. And that's it from INJIBS Africa. Stay tuned to USA Newsroom and political updates.